Welcome back, multifamily investors. Rebecca and I are doing a tour out in Kitsap County today in the Bremerton area. Earlier, we looked at a set of duplexes for 6 units total, 3 duplexes all on 3 different tax parcels. Now we're at an 8-unit over by the Manette neighborhood, and you can see cool naval ships in the background and stuff. That's a good pool of your tenant pool here are the Navy people in the Navy. Sorry, whatever word I'm looking for that. Service members. That's the word I was looking for. Service members. Anyway, you got great views. It's 8 units. It's on a corner lot. I will explain there is a downside to this property. I think because of it's grandfathered in on the zoning. And if this were to burn down, you would not be able to rebuild another 8 units. So that is the downside. And I don't think I would accept that risk. It's a big one. So let's come in and take a look. Kind of just looking around. It is wood siding. The last tour I did was a cinder block, which is kind of old, dated, 50s looking. Not the most aesthetically pleasing, but this now, look, and just putting my finger up here, squishy wood means rot, and just painting it doesn't solve the issue, so that needs to be replaced. Those are the things that we look for. But come on in. This is a 2-bed unit. This is built in the 60s, by the way, so you have baseboard heating, really crappy carpet, no fat padding at all, popcorn ceilings, small kitchen, but it functions for a 2-bed. It's really great. You can see the water just out your front door here. It's cool. And then, full bath, and here's your 2 bedrooms with closets and looking out to a residential alleyway there. Not a lot to get too excited about, but it's pretty straightforward. Again, baseboard heating, so you heat each room that you need, not a furnace or radiant heating like it was in the other property we just toured. So this wouldn't need much. New carpet. I think some updated trim would be nice. Updated appliances and counters eventually. You could probably redo this one for definitely under $25,000, I would think, and then get the rents up. But again, taking an evaluation on the zoning risk, that is a big one to consider. But look at that view. Isn't that great? Stay tuned for numbers.
Okay, welcome back, multifamily investors. We're running the numbers on this 8-unit here over in the Manette neighborhood of Bremerton. It's listed for, I'll just refresh your memory here. So it's the 8-unit, nice blue building on a corner lot from the 60s for $1.575. You can see what the tour looked like. Great spot. It does have some conditions. I want to remind you though, the apartment building is grandfathered in basically, and the notes here that if it were burned down, another one could not be built. It cannot be made larger than what it is, but it could be remodeled and remain an 8-plex, or you can tear it down, replace it with a single family with a couple ADUs possibly, or even subdivide it into 4 lots. But if it burns to the ground, you are not going to replace it with another 8-unit property. So that's the catch on this deal, and I think that's going to have to be reflected in this price. They are trying to market this, and let's see what their cap was that they put here, on a 7 cap, which would be fantastic, but we know in reality that's probably not it either. Because when I run in, I have to include some vacancy rate here. I use their actual numbers. I did have to plug in some management fees for this, most likely. So at their price with the 25% down, which a perfect world we could get to at 7.5, the rates are at, you'd be losing $1,500 a month. So this is what we like to present to the seller and the listing agent and go, look, this doesn't fly and doesn't pencil, and so we'd like to present. Now, what do I always preach? If you work with me or watch my videos, we don't do round numbers. We like to look like we actually run our numbers and we make a pitch that this is the best that we can do. But for 8 units, that's commercial, right? So they're going to be looking for what's that DSCR the lender is. We need to get it to 1.25. You're not going to do it on price because they're not. I'm sure sellers not going to get down a price where you can get with 30% down or so on a price that's 75% of asking price of the list. So if we come back in here at something reasonable, it's been sitting on the market a month. Okay, 30% down is not going to get it. 40% is probably not going to get it, right? This is what we do. We play around the numbers, see where we need to be to make a case. And I'm trying to be conservative here and stick to what is it going to be from day one. Still, a lender's going to want to see right here, most likely about 1.25. So we're probably looking at closer to 47. Yep, 47% down. So your down payment call it $692 with some closing costs and some reserves. You're basically almost at $750 cash in to have this meet the lender's requirement. You may see it better here, saying $1,355 a month. You don't have any vacancies, which is probably likely even on a small building, but we factor in a little bit. You could be at almost $1,700 a month. If you don't have a bunch of repairs going on or other miscellaneous stuff, in reality, you might actually push $2,000 a month in positive cash flow. And I ran some pro formas here on what the market rent should be. I definitely think the 2 beds could do a little better. And the 1 bed showing that you could get $1,200 on some of these. So I just bumped those to $1,200. And it looks like you could probably actually push this to be closer to $3,000 a month positive with $733 down. And it's a little over 5.5 cash on cash return for year 1. So that puts it, though, if we scroll down here to my numbers, see it's not really a 7. It's probably actually running about a 5.5, which is still kind of low for a property like this with the risk involved. I think that's more ideal if you can get to that quickly. Oh, and let me just show you real quick. So I do my snapshot here. This is what I'm looking for too. And again, that's highlighted with DSCR. We like to get down here in the middle. Take a quick glance, snapshot. How's this looking here? Year 1 cash on cash, year 2 possibly cash on cash, 4.5. All right. So hopefully that's a little bit better for you to understand and see that this deal is probably going to be challenging for most. I'm watching it. I was curious. I'm glad we got out to see it. It has a lot of positives and a few cons against it. The view is incredible. Nice parking availability, things like that. There was some rot on the siding that you would need to address, and obviously make some updates to some of the units as well. All right, hope that's helpful. I appreciate you watching.